In this video, I'm gonna share the top 10 non-musical skills I think every musician needs to master. And number 10 is quite controversial. My name is Maria Finkelmeyer. I'm a percussionist, a composer, an artist, and professor at Berklee College of Music. I create immersive events at concert venues and art galleries and massive public art projects. I use these skills every day. So the first skill I think you should master is graphic design. I think every musician needs a basic understanding of how graphics work, how visuals come together to communicate an idea. This could be used in your promotional materials for your concerts and some sort of pitch deck or renderings of your ideas, but understanding how to visualize content is really, really important. So the second skill to think about is music tech. And here I'm speaking a lot to my acoustic performers, those performers that might be playing violin or like me, marimba. We need to know how to mic our instruments. What is it like to play with electronics? What is a DAW? So if you hear the word DAW, you know what someone's talking about, and that's a program they're using when they're recording your music. I think you cannot be a professional musician without having the language to at least speak to a recording engineer, but it's even more powerful if you can learn some of these skills yourself. All right, so number 3 is one of my favorites and a skill I'm quite good at, and that is how to pack a truck. Okay, this might sound really simple. This might sound really silly, but let me tell you, if you're gonna go on the road, you need to make sure all those instruments get in that truck. You need to make sure all those instruments are safe. Anything from a marimba and a vibraphone and a drum set to making sure your violins are safe, to making sure your guitar is safe, and making sure you can actually play the in real life Tetris that is putting all of those into a truck. I even spec'd my SUV that I bought a few years ago to make sure that my marimba could fit into it. I measured stuff because it's really important. If you want to tour, if you want to get your music out there, you have to actually get the instruments from point A to point B. The next skill is more about understanding and communicating than actually doing it yourself, but I want you to know what are visuals in the concert music space. So a lot of people come to me and they say, I want a video projection for my concert. And I ask them, well, do you want to film? Do you want animation? Do you want generative art? Is it 1 screen? Is it 4 screens? Is it an LED screen? What kind of projector are you going to use? And those questions can be overwhelming. So I want you to think about how can you gain the knowledge, how can you answer some of those questions and dive into that space so you understand that if you say, I want visual energy for my concert, you know exactly what you're asking for. So that means understanding that projectors have lumens, and that means how bright they are. So your at-home theater projector is a very low brightness, but a professional grade will be anywhere between 8 to 30 lumens. And those are what you need for like massive stages. So even being able to articulate that very simple fact, you will gain the respect and the understanding of visual artists that you might be working with. All right, number 5 is a doozy. It's very exciting. It's up there with packing a truck. It's spreadsheets. All right, if you were gonna have one skill in how to use a spreadsheet, it's understanding how to use the SUM formula. You're gonna create budgets. You're gonna create these spreadsheets that articulate how many miles you're traveling on your tour after you pack the truck. Maybe you're doing your taxes and you need to know how much money you made that year. Make sure you understand how to put that into a spreadsheet. You can use Google Spreadsheet, you can use Excel. There's so many different platforms, that doesn't matter, but making sure you know your way around a spreadsheet is essential as a musician. The 6th skill is how to pitch. You're going to be going out for opportunities. You're going to be writing grant proposals. You're going to be trying to get on a booking agent's roster. You're going to be trying to pitch for a commission or a presentation opportunity. You need to be able to go through 5 steps, which is what are you doing? For whom are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? How should that person trust you? And what would those next steps be in that process? If you go through all those 5 steps, you can really clearly articulate that idea and that opportunity you're trying to seek. I'm very passionate about how we articulate and vocalize our ideas. I have a free downloadable PDF called Perfect the Pitch. Link is below. Check it out because you need to talk about what you're doing and you need to talk about it clearly. And connected to the how to pitch is number 7, which is marketing yourself. This is actually a big skill. It's a time-consuming skill. But what I find it to do is actually feed my artistic practice. If I am, after I've figured out how to pitch myself, my idea, I'm thinking about who that's for, then I'm thinking about how to actually talk to that person and how to create content on digital platforms or in real life at networking events that actually market what I'm trying to do to that correct person. Marketing is time-consuming and you might also feel a little bit uncomfortable. But what I want to tell you is I want to hear your music. I want to hear what you have to say. So think of this as a positive space in which you get to share this beautiful artistic voice that you've had in your nurturing and your testing out, because we want to receive that gift. and you're actually offering the world something really beautiful. So don't be afraid of marketing yourself and understand that it is something we want and something we need. The next skill is how to use a calendar. Have you made a calendar invite before? Have you invited somebody to that meeting? Added the address, added a link, added the Zoom invite. Look, let me tell you what, as you step into the professional world, as you grow in the professional world, we live off of our calendars. And to be able to communicate and understand how shared calendar invites work, how to manage your time, how to block off your time so you can have a personal life, so you can block off time to practice, using your calendar as a space to organize, as a space to communicate is essential for musicians. So number 9 in our 10 skills is not just money, but saving money. Listen, we have to think about our future selves. You have to understand that any money you put aside for retirement now is going to exponentially grow, and it's going to help you reach a point in your life in which you know that you cared for yourself. And that's really, really important. I want you to care for yourself. It's hard in the musical space because a lot of us are gig workers and a lot of us are working paycheck to paycheck. But can you open a Roth IRA? Can you invest money? Can you figure out your financial side to make sure you're setting that foundation for really warm, beautiful, solid life ahead? Okay, so now let's go to number 10, which we're transitioning from the warm and fuzzy to the quite controversial. I think every musician needs to understand what is artificial intelligence. These 2 little letters that are rocking our industry right now are so scary for a lot of people. We feel that the authenticity and the emotional context of music is going to be totally eliminated. I have a lot of personal opinions, which will take about a 3-hour video to share, but what I want to share with you now is that there are actually a lot of powerful tools that use the computing power of shared knowledge that can help you in your career, helping you craft a grant proposal by using something like ChatGPT, where you actually input the AI with your original content and you ask for help or context or nuance. When you actually use AI from using your creative first and then asking it to kind of respond, I think it can be a really, really powerful tool. I do think where AI is scary is when people are trying to create the thing that is the art from AI. I do not believe in that. So while we need to think about the use of these tools ethically and we need to preserve our intellectual property, we cannot be passed up by ignoring this space. And I think the best way to do that is to dive in, to learn, to actually understand what AI is and how it can support your artistic practice, not eliminate it. I'm not saying that you have to go out and use all the tools right now and they have to be a part of your practice. You just need to understand AI, right? You need to think about, okay, month to month, how are you gonna save? How are you gonna use calendar invites, etc. This shouldn't be your new focus, these skills. But these skills, all 10 of these skills together, I think will support your musical practice and support your career as you move forward.